Welcome to session 7. Our second speaker is Mr. April Mahlangu. So Mr. Mahlangu is the head of Tshwane University of Technology Central Services Department in the library. His paper presents an information resources strategy that can be used to respond to the current ever-changing library environment, which helps us stay relevant. I am sure you are going to enjoy Mr. Mahlangu's theoretical approach which helps us to delve deeper into our own institutional information resources strategy. Thank you, Mr. Mahlangu.
Thank you very much, Session Chair. As has already been introduced. Colleagues, what I want to share with you here is try to go back to basics and ask ourselves, as much as we talk of the issues of open access, central license, subscription model, whatever it is, that we exist for a reason. We exist for a reason. So as much as we want to do change models, whatever, we need to also come back and say, okay, we here, what are we here for? So my second opinion around this is that, you know, I like chaos. Chaos is good, because chaos makes us ourselves ask difficult but yet crucial questions. Then we can be able to change things. The theme of the conference, it talks about destruction. We started thinking about destruction after there was chaos. With all the chaos I'm going to share with you, I'm not going to go through the slides outline because that would be actually wasting of time, because we're going to see these things anyway. You look at the decline in printed journals, and then the imposition of VAT and all the increase in the enterprise mobility, the way education is now presented, changes in the curriculum delivery modes, changes in types of client we're saving. Somebody has told us that we're saving now a Y generation, those with their pens like this. And they are the people who are thinking differently. And I like the speaker yesterday who said the students of today can actually teach us how to search for information. And that is very true, because if you look at us, we like to formalize things. And it's the nature of librarians. Formalize things must be in a way, in the order of some sort. So our catalogs are still in that form, in that printed format, in the shelf format. But then they don't want things like that. That's why they are searching differently. Somebody said yesterday, we were drinking tea, that you'll see them with smartphones every time. But when you take them to the catalog, they can't search. Yes, they can't search, because your catalog is not according to their way of thinking. That is what I'm trying to remind ourselves into. So changes in the type of client you are saving, and then shifting budgets. You mentioned hashtag This Must Fall. With us, we ended up in last year when we wanted to allocate money to resources, said actually we need 6 million more to just keep on what we have. And we started asking questions, so what do we do? That's another chaos. So DHET requirement universities to expand online and online learning, blended learning, books, whatever. Things are changing. So when things are changing, we start asking ourselves questions. How do we serve the change? Now, as I begin this presentation, I said, we need to remind ourselves, why are we here for? Now, I just looked at the National Development Plan and says, this is the reason we exist. This is the sole reason we exist. We are pushing the NDP agenda. This is what they want to do. So now we need to ask ourselves now, in information resource provision, how do we fit into this? Number one, how do we support them? Number two, how are we going to know whether we do support them? Where is the evidence? How are we going to convince these people that actually talking national license is viable, it's something to be funded? How are we going to convince people that open access model is a valid model that can take us where the government wants to go, because at the end of the day, we draw our budget from the government, and we need to serve the government agenda. And as librarians, are we? Not so sure about that. So it's one of those questions that we just need to ask ourselves. This can be read again later, but this is what I just wanted to say. Remind ourselves, this is the agenda, this is the reason of existence. Now, within the universities are there to graduate students. They are there to produce research. Nothing else. We can talk of trying to put certain things, to putting nice words and nice visions that are catchy visions, but there's only one reason for university existence. These are the reasons. Enrollment, success rates, pass rates, student retention, those are the measures. Do we ever report on this on our annual report as libraries? Do we ever indicate a link into this in our reports? When we can only be listened to if we're talking directly to this. Because this is what they are asked. This is what our vice chancellors are asked. How many students have you graduated this year? How many students have you enrolled this year? This is what they are asked. What do? We say, no, we've got 15,000 journals. Now, I've just applied a simple SWOT analysis into the environment. Now I'm talking about the TUT environment, not necessarily the whole South African environment, because I couldn't do that over a short period of time. That needs a lot of time. So within TUT environment, and when I'm talking about the market, big business, when I'm talking about the market, I'm talking about students and lecturers. That's the library market. That is what I'm talking about. And then look at our strength and then opportunities. If you look at this thing, it's very skewed. We've got weaknesses there, small, strength, small, but opportunities, there's a lot of them. Are we unleashing, you are taking something out of these opportunities? Are we there? And these are the thoughts that needs to be there. And I also want to leave with this presentation, to leave a little bit of a homework to Chelsea when they negotiate where the deals with regard to not Chelsea deals, but Chelsea negotiating on the right model for information source to see if are we doing the right thing. Is it quantity or is it quality? And if it's quality, what is quality? Now, Porter's 5 forces. In this small market, TUT market, what drives the market? What drives the market? Look at it from the supplier's point of view, look at it from the buyer's point of view, and then look at it from the threat of substitutes. Yes, Google, at some point, it is a substitute. I can tell you it is a substitute. Students, if they don't want to use the Discovery tool, library Discovery tool, they simply go to Google and they pass. Sorry, they complete. Are we relevant? And the questions that we need to ask, I'm not saying yes or no, I'm just saying let's ask questions. Are we relevant? Open publishing, open direct subscription. Direct subscription is, I'm talking about publishers going directly, individually to our lecturers now to market themselves. And some of our lecturers, I can tell you now, they do individual subscriptions to particular journals from the research funds. They go direct. It's a substitute, because now they're supposed to be library, and actually they are wasting university money because they are paying twice now. But if we are not serving their need, they will eventually go in straight and do direct subscription, and they are bypassing us. New market entry, pricing barriers is a problem, I'm told yesterday. And then you can see the supplier is actually gaining a monopoly here. They are having an upper hand. It has been said, I mean, the Max Planck speaker have said a lot around that the supplier has a muscle. Okay, limited local publishing. We've heard from the decolonization yesterday, presentation yesterday, that okay, there is also the imbalance in terms of decolonization or whatever. That's another chaos. The students are coming and says decolonize. Now when think of information resource, whether it's E or whatever, what is decolonization? We need to ask those questions, because if you don't fit it into the agenda, it will remain irrelevant. Again, I'm not going to go through everything, I don't have enough time. And then, again now, when you look at your pestle, you plug your library into pestle and see what comes out. Fees must fall, that's political. Student protest, because fees must fall is something else. It affected us the political thing, but affected us in terms of money. Student protest, it affected us on production, because we need students to be in the library in order to make our say, to get downloads, to get checkouts and stuff. But then we were closed in most of the cases. Economic part, exchange rate, your inflation. You see, exchange rate in books has cost affected, has went up 30% in 2016. Now, Belinda, inflation on information resources, those are the things that has caused a chaos in information resource provision. Changing student learning patterns, the way students learned have changed. Who wants to go into the library, leave the office? I'm okay to say you search for a journal of education. Fine, after searching for journal of education, okay, this one is in volume what of 19 what, in issue what. Leave the office, go to the library, search within the shelves, find that volume, but looking for that year, and you'll get it if you're lucky. You get that year. Then you page through looking for that issue. At time, look at the amount of time. Then you go and queue in the photocopying machine. You want to photocopy that. That's not a very good model, please. But unfortunately now things are changing. We are pushing everything into E. People don't have to come to the library anymore. They can do it while they are actually in their offices. So the learning pattern has changed. This e-learning, even if there's strikes, people do write exams. So even if they don't have to be in the library anymore. So we are changing things. Look at your macro environment now. Outside technological, we've got social media affecting the way you're providing information, online learning, then contribution of print books and journal on carbon blueprint. I'm told at some point that actually those stacks of shelves are blocking the Wi-Fi for the students. The legal factors in position of that, they come and say, okay, as from today, you guys are going to pay VAT. Didn't we see it coming? No, but we had to adjust. We had to start asking questions. All the legal issues then. Now, this is TUT. We sat down, then we could develop our vision to be the preferred gateway for global knowledge. We want to. And the desired place for learning, research, and collaborative work. This is us. But then how do we get there? Then we said we want to provide, now this is directly relevant to information resources. Fast, easy, convenient access to information resource. Will subscription model do this for us? Will open access model do this for us? Will global license do this for us? Remember the issue of fast, easy, and convenient. Convenient and relevant to the particular organization. So if we've got a sort of a national license, will it serve TUT needs as well as UCT needs as well as, we need to ask questions around that. I'm not saying what I'm saying is that those are the issues to consider. 5, you can't say that. Okay, these are our goals, I'm not going to go through that. Now, in our site we said we're looking at our value chain. What it is that we are doing actually. We start from the collection development, they decide whatever model they decide then, but we need information sources to come in. We do collection development. I use the word packaging deliberately then. It's cataloging, it's your discovery tools, it's your metadata, but the way you package your product into your user. Then access is where we add value. If we don't spend most of your time and make sure that these things are accessible in an easy, fast, and convenient way, then that's where we're going wrong. Because the student will ignore us. The market, we deliver the product into the market. This is a process. Selection, subscription, packaging, access, analytics. Analytics means that then you statistics. Impact, very important, colleagues, impact. Are we making impact or are we making numbers? Is it quantity or is it quality? Then university performance indicators. Then we start making sense. Then they start looking at us. Really, with your information source, are you making any impact? So this is what happened during the dry season. We had to tighten our belt. What it is, what comes in, what goes out. Because that was a pressure. That's made us to sit down and says, how do you allocate this little money? Unfortunately, some had to go out. This is what happened. I'm told that my time is off, so I'm going to go faster. Now evaluation, we need to evaluate this. After we've done all this, this is what happened. 73% downloads. D. We were doing something, but does it having 73% increase in your downloads? And I'm mentioning downloads purposefully because within my definition, a sale is a download. Search is Belinda. Going to Pick and Pay and pick up a tin of fish and look at it and put it back is not a sale. but taking it out, it is a sale. This is what happened, 73%, and 85% cost, just said again that we have cost avoidance of that, and TNT was number 1 in cost avoidance. And I asked Belinda, why? How did you do? And he said, it's because 20% of her job is real work, but 80% is relationship. That's what he said. Then cost per student, we have also seen the slide. I couldn't get the slide to present it to you. That we also have the lowest cost per student, because we've got our money smaller. Then we have to plan carefully how to acquire the relevant resources for the students. Then we managed to feed, somebody has fed, how many, 500 men with one loaf? We've tried to do that as well. Information sources are the lifeblood of learning, research, and teaching. That goes no sense. But where would they find them? That's another question. In the library, or with Google, or with somebody else. It is a lifeblood. You can't do research without any information source. Fine. The value of information sources of the university performance outcomes need to be established, quantified, and communicated. Established, quantified, and communicated. That is when we're going to show true value. Now, just in time versus just in case. Libraries, we are so good at just creating collections. No, we've got so much. But what about saying, as the user needs it, go buy it? Then it's fine. As the user needs it, then buy it. It's over. Do not create, say? Just in time. Okay? Do not create a product. I'm going to close it down, but I want to mention this. Do not create a product for your customer, but let your customer create their own product. And your job is to go find that product. You go in there. These are the suppliers. Emerald and the EBSCOs are there. Oh, this can be good for my. You go there and then they don't use it. But start with them. What is the curriculum? What is the research niche area? What is it is needed? Then you can go to Emerald and say, okay, Emerald, my people are looking for 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm saying. That's what.
April and William, accreditation, and looking at accreditation all over the world for universities now, South Africa fits in on the ranking and the scales of university rankings, and what the government offers and 14% VAT. Is there any legal ramification or any legal angle that one can take to government and say you are actually deliberately stopping us of achieving higher accreditation rates, higher rankings in libraries, because you are limiting us to buy what we want to buy and get what we want to get with this 14%? That's Josh.
From my side, yes, but just my opinion, not necessarily what it is. Because anything, as much as we want to achieve anything, but if legally they need to be taxed, then it needs to be taxed. And we need to operate within that confinement of the law, of the tax. You can argue again why tax food, because we need to eat, otherwise we all die. But it needs to be taxed.
Yes, but if this is influencing the education, and this was not something that was always there, it came in on later years, is this something that one can go to the government as, say, Stanley or NASA, and say this is the impact of this 14% tax, and we cannot...
As a human rights lawyer and a constitutional lawyer, absolutely, yes. Get a whole group together and just take the case on. Yeah, you've got a right in the well. What I'm saying is, I don't know what the answer is going to be, but in terms of the rights and the rights to access, and you know, if it's prejudicing, you know, from an education point of view, very definitely you could make a case. No, very definitely.